What's up, fam? Hey, welcome back. I'm over here at the hometown favorite at Clearwater High School with head coach Thor. And let me repeat that. Thor, you see these muscles on him. Jozwiak. So, Coach Thor, say your name so everybody can hear how to say your name. I know I mess it up.
Yeah, no, you're great. Thor Jozwiak. I'm going into my 5th year here at Clearwater High School. I was here for 2 years as the O-line coach, and then this will be my 5th year as the head man. So I've been here for 7 years.
Oh, my goodness. Now, Coach, we were talking a little bit earlier about your background with football.
That's right.
Come from a long line of great football players. Can you give us a brief, just a summary of how, you
So absolutely. So my dad, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but he's up there. My dad played at West Virginia, consensus All-American. He's in the WVU Sports Hall of Fame. Played there from 81 to 85, and in the 86 NFL draft, same draft class as Bo Jackson, my dad got drafted 7th overall. So Bo Jackson went first, and my dad went 7th. He then played at Kansas City for 4 years, blew out his hip, went and coached under Coach Nealon at West Virginia, and then started coaching some D2 ball up there, and ended up moving down here to coach high school football over in Polk County, and that's what brought myself and my family down to Florida. And I played ball over in Polk, and then ended up playing football at USF.
Okay.
And I was at USF from 11 to 15. Got to play under Coach Holtz for 2 years and Coach Taggart for 3 years. So, and just fell in love with the water. My wife's a nurse, and we said we want to get closer to the water. All these years of driving by Clearwater, that's where we started and worked our way up. So we live up in Palm Harbor, on right behind Innisbrook. But love it down here. We're down in Clearwater all the time.
Okay, so what position did you play? Were you a linebacker or were you a kicker?
Yeah, I was the holder.
There you go.
No. I played offensive line. My dad played offensive line. He was my coach in high school. And then when I got to USF, obviously played offensive line. All 3 interior positions in college. In high school, played tackle. But in college, didn't meet the height requirement for those tackles, man. Those 6'6", 6'7" cats. So played all 3 interiors, left guard, center, right guard.
Okay. So you have an extensive background in the game, and just by looking at you, the coaches say you passed the eye test. So you passed the eye test, Coach. What brought you back or got you here to Clearwater High School? Take us on your journey from college to this point now.
Yeah, so when I got done playing, so in 2013, I actually had heart surgery. So I was coming in as the starter, and I ended up passing out at practice. Didn't know what it was. Spent 19 days at Tampa General Hospital in the ICU there, which was an experience in of its own. And all the thoughts are running through your head. You're 20 years old. You got the world at your feet, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away from you. So I had an irregular heartbeat that in October of 2013 had corrected through cryoablation, but I missed that whole season. And I didn't know whether or not I was going to be able to come back. Long story short, got right. 2014, 2015 was a starter, all conference. Had an opportunity to go in with the Bucks in 2016 after my senior year.
Oh, yeah.
Got cut by those guys, but no harm, no foul. That's a crazy business.
Yeah.
And the heart thing really hindered my ability to make it to the next level.
Okay.
A lot of people don't understand National Football League is a business, right? They're making investments in people's bodies and people's minds. And unfortunately, I had a little bit too much tread on the tires for an investment. So that's okay. That's okay. So took some time off from football. And really, at the end of the day, the life lessons that I learned through the game from my dad, from all other great coaches that I've had, from all the coaches I had at USF, I was missing that piece. I was missing football. I was missing being around young athletes and young coaches and trying to help these guys to get to the next stage of what they have to do in life. So for me, that was a big draw to come back into coaching. And really, I just sent out a feeler to everybody in the county, and a former head coach here reached out to me, and the rest is history.
Oh, man. And I know the community, the school, everybody are really glad that you're here, Coach.
I appreciate that.
You're making a big impact.
Yes, sir.
So, Coach, can you tell me, what is your core philosophy?
Yeah, I think everybody's heard me. They've heard me say it on videos, and it's a pretty broad statement, but little things, big rings. within this game, and a lot of people say that phrase in different ways, but it really is just the details, right? So for the team, that's my biggest thing. Doing the little things the right way, on and off the field, right? Create champions. And the reason I said rings is at the end of this road, if you become a state champion, if you win the national championship, if you win a Super Bowl, everybody's waiting for that ring.
That's it.
Everybody's waiting for the ring. So little things, big rings, doing things the right way on and off the field, and the winning follows that. So I would say that's my biggest core philosophy.
Mm-hmm. So you're in the school here teaching. What do you look for in a player on and off the field?
Yeah, so I teach weight training here, which is great for all the students and all the athletes. But what I look for in guys in high school, what I love is the great players. They're intrinsically driven. They're motivated by some other force that they just absorb it like sponges. And then you have someone that you might have to go and push a little bit to get everything out of them, and then they fall all in between. So on the field, we're looking for someone that's going to come and give their best effort every single day. I tell my guys all the time, that's one thing that I don't care if you're the world's greatest coach.
Yep.
You cannot coach effort. That's something that you have or you don't. You have to bring great effort every single day. And if you're giving maximum effort every day and taking coaching, then you are going to get better.
That's big.
I think one of the things that this generation of player is failing to understand, probably parents as well, is sometimes it takes 3 years to see the progression and to see the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
We live in such a now society, right? Everybody wants it right now. They want everything right now. But you've got to put work in over time. And you'll see guys that have it, and then you'll see guys that have to work towards it. And everything. We have guys here that are going to go play Division I football next year in January. And then we got guys that are just going to play high school football, and that's fine. What I love about the game is there's life lessons and brotherhoods that can be formed, that can be taken on into life, whether you play another down of football after high school or not.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. And then off the field, they call them student athletes. So off the field, when you're up in the classroom, that's where it all starts. You don't come here in the morning and go to football practice.
Mm-hmm.
You come here in the morning, you go to first period, right? Being and handling your academics is so key, because if you're not a Division I football player, if you're a D2 or a D3 player, that's fine. That's amazing. We've sent 25 guys to D2 and D3 because they've had over a 3.0 GPA.
Yeah.
So they took care of their stuff in the classroom, and it opened up opportunities for them in education and career. So that's the thing I look for, is guys that are motivated to handle their business in the classroom, be respectful on campus and be leaders on campus. And that aligns with our school vision.
Man, you said something. You said you got to put in work. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times young men, young women, they see somebody on TV doing something and they don't realize what the work they put in to get to that point.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you said that.
Yes,
that makes a real big difference. Also, at the end of your season last year, how you break things down and you look at what you need to work on going into the spring.
Yeah.
How did that affect, your thought process of how it's going to affect what's going on going into the season now?
That's right. So at the end, you take back and you evaluate. We lost a close game to Jesuit there in the first round of the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and they did what they needed to do to win. And we did a lot of great things through the season. I think that we grew as a team, but we did leave a lot of opportunities on the field.
Yeah.
So you look at those things, and I made a couple of corrections in coaches, which is a hard decision, because I don't want to see anybody have to go. But at the end of the day, my job is to put this program in the best position for success, and that's across the board. And it starts with the players. So there was a couple things that we had to change, and we did. And then my big philosophy in the off season, you build the machine January to July.
Okay.
Everything you do. We started working out in December. We finished our season, and then it became optional lifts, which there would be 50 or 60 guys in here lifting, the last 2 weeks of school. And then when we got back in January, we're hitting the ground running. You build the machine, and this is how college is too. And you know this,
Exactly.
From January to July, everything that you're doing is culminating to a point to fall camp, right?
Yep.
And then into a season. So from January to July, all of that piece, everything that comes with that, lifting weights, guys doing other sports, doing walkthroughs, getting on the board, chalk talk, all that stuff comes to right now what we're living in fall camp. So now is the time, and we've made some corrections that I think are going to help. I'm calling the offensive plays this year, which I'm super excited about.
Okay.
Coach Banks, he's been my defense coordinator since I've been the head coach. And going against those guys in practice, we do got another monster defense this year, which is always fun. I'm happy they're on my side, because they give us fits during practice. But we got a lot of starters back, and we got a lot of starters back on the offense side of the ball too. So watching Jalen White progress, he's our senior quarterback, committed to Charlotte. Watching him progress has been spectacular, and he's going to make some real magic on the field this year. It's going to be fun to watch.
Man, I came out the other day and just got a glimpse at practice. Man, Coach, it's really impressive. You got some big guys up there. I see you have a lot of young guys, and you have some numbers out there.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what a summer workout, even going into fall practice? What does a typical workout look like for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So we start every day. I've been blessed to keep relationships, and so I reached out to my strength and conditioning coach from college. His name's Irleo Deerende, Coach O. Okay. And he was a strength and conditioning coach under Coach Taggart. Coach Taggart took him to Oregon. Coach Taggart took him to Florida State. So the man is a wizard. Okay. So I operate on everything. He sent me all of USF football speed and development program. 2015 and 2016, which I would argue those 2 years had probably some of the most explosive guys in recent history.
Okay.
Marlon Mack, Quentin Flowers, Dearness Johnson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, all those guys went through this program. So for me, I was very blessed, and we try to hit this. We had a lot of things at USF that we don't necessarily have here, but there's ways to work around that. So I literally operate off of a collegiate workout plan, and we market that to our guys, and those guys are the ones that are going through it. So it's tough. 6 a.m. in the summer, and it's been great though. It's been great. Those guys, they come in, they get the work in, just like it is in college.
Okay.
You come in, you get the work, and then you have the rest of the day. A lot of our guys would go and they'd get together and throw on their own, just at random parks. A lot of guys go down to Coachman and throw down there. So a lot of individual work, and I think that's the biggest thing. Football is the ultimate team sport. So it's the ultimate team sport. Right? The ultimate team sport.
Yes, cool.
But within that, you have to win individual battles to win as a team. So I want my quarterback and receiver working on timing, right? Because we're working a little game against one corner. Now, of course, there's 9 other guys that got to do their job for that play to work. But if that one receiver doesn't beat that one corner on this play, then we're toast.
Exactly.
Right? So it's the ultimate team sport with everybody doing their job, but there's a lot of individual matchups that are built. So those guys working that craft throughout the summertime is amazing.
That's cool. That's really good. So your mindset or your vision going into the season, what does that look like?
Yeah, I let our team set that. Obviously, the first and foremost thing is the next opponent.
Okay.
I don't like to look ahead, right? Because if you start looking ahead, then we're not focused on the current task at hand, right? So all summer it's been Tarpon Springs because they're our fall classic.
Okay.
We're taking the whole program and we're going to play everybody, even our JV, because there's a lot of guys that we have to evaluate and see. But then it's Bartow, right? And it's week after week after week. So obviously, the team goal is district championship, right? Regional championship, and make it to states, right? And then our seniors, of course, if you're not speaking state championship, right? That's the ultimate goal, state championship.
Exactly.
If we're not speaking that language, then what are we playing for? What are we shooting for? No. It's about winning the state championship. What do we have to do to win the state championship? And that's a day-to-day grind. A day-to-day grind with our kids. So it's super exciting, but obviously, want to win our district. We'll be back-to-back district champions. That is the beginning, and then obviously make a long run into the playoffs. But that is the team goal: is to take week by week, win the district, and try to win a state championship. Pinellas County's first state championship.
Oh yeah, I know that's right. We overdue, Coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Overdue.
That's right.
We waiting on it now.
That's right.
Waiting on it. Are there any position battles or any key roles that you're keeping an eye on this preseason going into the season?
I think that, just in overall, we came into this, there's only a couple of guys that have solidified their spots. We have a nice little battle going on at running back right now, which is really fun to watch. And I think that all the guys that we have in those positions are actually gonna really shine. Our offensive line, there's one battle that I have going on that I have to make a tough decision, but that's why I love preseason camp, is you get to watch these guys every day develop, and then we get to see how it works against in Tarpon in the Classic, and then you make the decision after that. So I've really been liking how our defensive backs and our receivers have been battling. So, one of our philosophies in practice is iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You got to play high-level football all the time, not always going against a scout team, right? But ones versus ones. Okay. Ones versus ones. Okay. And we got a little bit of that on Wednesday night. The heat has kept us out of our normal practice time. The wet ball temperature has been, 90 and above. So Wednesday we got out to practice at about 7:30. And I think that's when you came to.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so that was best on best. And that's what makes you good. Iron sharpens iron, however you want to put it. It's been a blessing to be able to do that and go and come out fairly healthy.
Okay. So who are some of your key players or some of your leaders on the team, that the guys are kind of, surround themselves with or follow, that you look forward to, say, hey, make sure the young guys do this?
Yeah.
Who are some of those guys?
We have a great senior class coming back. The 4 guys that I took to the media day that we went to, Sam Roseboro is our left tackle, plays offensive line, committed to Texas A&M.
Okay.
Wayne Cunningham, starting Mike linebacker, is committed to Delaware. Jalen White, our quarterback, committed to Charlotte, and Kentrell McCray, our corners, committed to Pitt.
Okay.
So, those 4 guys are leaders because they're the Division I commits, right, already, which is a very awesome thing for them. But then you look at like an Isaiah Berrien who plays receiver, a Jamarcus Holsley that plays receiver, a Manny Smith on the defensive side of the ball, Breon Key on the defensive side of the ball, one of our DBs, but is like a Swiss Army knife. You can put that guy in any situation, and he's just a football player. He's a big leader. There's so many guys that are in leadership roles, and I think that's one thing that separates us a little bit this year from years past, is there's so many alphas, right? But they're all coming together for one common goal.
That's great.
And that's been the very awesome thing to see in the locker room as these guys are interacting on a daily basis is man, everybody wants to go out and just be the best version of themselves. So there's so much leadership that and I'm missing several guys, Adem Mustafaraj, Javon Lawhorn on the defensive side of the ball, guys that are trying to make plays. Nathan Clegg, who's our Y, he's our super guy that we like to move around and get working in the offense. There's just so many. Jamar Jackson, our starting center, been starting for me for 4 years. Ooh. So there's so many key components of leadership, and it's fun to watch. It really is fun to watch. So I can't just speak on 1 or 2 guys. There's so many guys. Our kicker, Evan Mulcair, he's the number 1 left-footed punter in the country. So it's he's going to go Division I. Jamar's going to go Division I. He's offered by Howard and Alabama State. So it's hard to say 1 or 2 guys because this is a culmination of so much work by this group. They're all leaders in their own right. Sometimes there might be a captain that might be down on himself. Well, he's going to lean on another leader to pick him up. And we have that camaraderie. And we also have the other side of that where if you're not doing your job, you're going to hear it. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing everything you can to win and to play Clearwater football, the leaders on the team are going to let you know. And to me, and I know other coaches say this, but the best teams are player-led teams, right? When a coach doesn't have to go into the locker room and fire up a team, that's something fun to do. But when the players are leading and the players are operating within that team, mm-hmm. Those are the funnest teams to coach.
Man, that's sweet. Man, Coach, it sounds like you got an excellent problem with players and just having them all. So tell us about your schedule and what is your must-watch or must-see games this year?
Yeah, so our schedule, obviously we'll finish out fall camp. We end the game prep next week. So our varsity program on Mondays, We'll bring them in usually post-game, obviously. Mondays will be our lift day, right? And it's also Mental Monday. We're coming in. We're going to get a nice lift. We're going to get some conditioning, run out that lactic acid, and then it's all game plan, right? Everything that we've met on over the weekend as coaches, we're going to implement into that into our game plan for Monday. So take guys out in helmets, right? We already lifted. We got a great lift. We're going to run them really, really good, and then we'll go out in helmets. And this is for the coordinators, right, and all the coaches to install the game plan. Okay. So we're going to see it against scout cards, see it against barrels, work on blitzes. Work on specific offensive calls for this next week against certain defenses. We'll see.
Who do you have?
That's right.
Your first game.
We have Tarpon Springs, but then we play Bartow.
Ooh.
Bartow week 1. So we played them here and beat them last season. So now we go over to Bartow over there in Polk County for the first game of the year.
Do you have a lot of playoff teams from last year?
Yeah, so
the playoffs that you're playing this year?
Bartow, Wiregrass Ranch. We go back. We play Wiregrass Ranch.
Okay.
This year. Then we play Lakewood week 3 down there at Lakewood. And then our first home game will be CCC. We'll open our home schedule with CCC. Largo right after that, which is all
keeping it tight.
That's been that game right there. Coming into Clearwater, not knowing about it, the first Clearwater Largo game I was ever a part of. I'm like, man, this is Florida high school football right here. So yeah, and then we get into district play. So
who is your district?
It's us, Gulf, River Ridge, and Countryside.
Okay. Yeah. Man. Okay.
Yep.
I was just trying to think because I'm like, man, is Dunedin in y'all district?
Nope, Dunedin is a little bit small. I think they're 3A. Yeah, so they're not. You're lucky.
The reason I asked, because Clearwater Dunedin back 100 years ago.
That's right.
There was a big time rivalry besides Clearwater and Largo.
Big game. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, we don't play Dunedin this year.
Okay.
But hey, man, make some calls. Let's get the game fired up, man. Let's do it.
Hey, we're gonna try to do that. So at the end of the season, and you talked about it earlier, what would success look like for the Clearwater Tornadoes?
Yeah, for this year, obviously, the goal is state championship.
There you go.
And I won't know. There's the thing about success is there's going to be success today at practice.
Mm-hmm.
There's daily successes for everybody that I love to highlight because it could be we have had a running back that has been going the wrong way on inside zone, and today he goes the right way. That's a success. And that deserves to be celebrated.
Yes.
And the kids have to know that we see that. We see the work. We see the grind. They got to be celebrated for that because they're the ones putting in the work, right? The players are the ones out there playing. It should be all about the players. And that's something that I tell my coaches, I tell everybody up here, they're the ones that are out there on the field. So everything that I've done is for the players. And I never want to lose that mentality.
Exactly.
The day I lose that mentality that it's all about the players, then I'll quit coaching. So it's only and always about the players. So those little successes need to be celebrated. At the end of the season, I don't know what that looks like. So as of right now, with the team goal, the success will be measured by state championship. Now, obviously, winning the district, you have to start there. So district championship first, and then we see. But that I stick with my team and the goals that they've set for themselves. So success to me is measured by state championship.
Oh yeah, I like that. State championships, baby. You heard it.
That's right.
All righty. So, Coach, are there anything that you want to add? Any thoughts, any ideas, any suggestions? Tell us something about you that, people out there may not know.
I mean, I'm an open book. Everything that I do, and I just mentioned it, everything I do is for the student athletes, Clearwater High School football. I think that we've had a lot of success. And I'm not somebody on social media or out there that brags about that stuff, because to me, my main focus is my players, period. But I'm super happy with the amount of grind that we put in as far as recruiting for the next level in college. I think this past spring we had 70 coaches from all over college football. Ooh. Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO,
impressive.
NAIA, all across the board. Because if you want to play college football, I'll work so hard to get them there, right? I think in the past 4 years, and that's my whole staff. But when we come in here and we meet with coaches and we watch film, my job is to highlight our guys and put them in the best light to create opportunities. I think in the past 4 years, we've put 35 or 37 into school, to at least to go and try and open that door, right? Some of these guys are pictured here. Aaron Sanez is at Western Carolina. Our player Noel Brown from last year, our starting nose guard, was at GMC over the summer, just transferred to Bethune-Cookman right here at the beginning of the year. With Coach Raymond Woody, who was one of my coaches at South Florida. So that piece to me is massive. We were over a 3.0 team GPA last year.
That's impressive.
Clearwater was an A school, first time ever in Clearwater history. So I think all those things correlate. And that's what I'm most proud of. Obviously, I'm proud of the guys that have gone Division I football, but the reality is not everybody goes Division I football.
Exactly.
I'm just as proud of the 27 other guys, 28 other guys that have gone to D2 to D3, and few and far between. I'm just as equally as proud as those guys because they're continuing education, continuing career, and it's super exciting. I'm very proud of that.
Man, Coach, I like the things that you're saying. I know the community likes the things you're doing, families, the kids. Coach, you are a player's coach. I really love it.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Thank
I gotta ask you, Coach, as we wrapping it up, game day.
That's right.
When you come out on the field, or you coming into the locker room, or just trying to get your mind in that mindset.
Yeah.
What is your hype music, or what song would you play to get everybody fired up, get everybody pumped up? What you going with?
What am I going to play, or what am I going to play for the players?
What you going to play for you, and what would you play for the players?
Yeah, I'm a hard rock guy.
Okay.
I always have been before games, tapping into that mentality. There's a song. It's called "Come and Get It" that I always listen to, and then It's a band called Parkway Drive. It's hard metal, but I love that, getting into that mode. And then with the players, any Rod Wave, any Kevin Gates, any of that stuff, it gets them going. Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. That's another one that really gets going before games. So really, whatever they want, man, I'm gonna play. That gets me hyped too. So it's a nice combination of that stuff. So yeah, I like it. Backlit by Rod Wave. That's a good one. I like that song.
There you go. You heard it from Coach Thor, Clearwater High School, on their way to a state title, guys. Check them out, follow them, and see the big things that they're doing over here. Coach, I appreciate you giving me this time to talk with you.
That's right.
I learned a lot. I got a lot of respect for you and your program.
Thank you.
You're doing some great stuff here, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing it, baby. Keep doing it.
I love it.
You're the man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here.
All righty. Oh, yeah.